And March was when I started my company last year. So
Wow.
I got 3 full-time technicians, and I had me, my sales manager, and then like four-ish high school kids that were solid.
And they
And
were teching.
we ran it up for the year. We did 500K in initial sales.
Welcome to the Home Service Chad Podcast, the show for home service entrepreneurs who don't just want to make money, but who also want to build elite lives and create impact. Each week, Louis sits down with high performers in home services to uncover the secrets to their success. No fluff, no shortcuts, just real conversations with those doing the work. Now, here's your host, Louis Moucher.
All right, guys, welcome back to the podcast. We got a legend on the pod right now. Looks like he's texting his team.
Texting technicians.
Texting the text. But, yeah, guys, we got my boy Chris Stocks. It's Chris Stocks, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I wasn't sure if it was Tycoon Chris or if that was just your at.
No, that's just for kicks and giggles.
Heck yeah. But Chris is the owner of Rise Window Cleaning. Working out of Colorado. He's been in business not very long, but doing crazy stuff already. Definitely like overall. I don't know, you're saying you're at what, like over 300K in annual recurring revenue. Selling service plans, selling them at the door. I've seen your vehicles. You got super dope vehicles. So, yeah, bro. Appreciate you being on here. For anyone watching, I think we're probably going to chop up a lot of like door-to-door stuff and selling plans at the door. So, yeah, let's get right into it, Chris. For anyone who doesn't know too much about you, about your story, I'm also, like, we haven't chopped it up too much on the back end either. So can you just kind of give us a rundown of the come up and, you know, how you got into the business? I know you used to be like an athlete, so give us that whole kind of backstory.
Yeah, brother. Thanks for having me. I'm officially a Chad now, so I appreciate it. Yep. So the short fire hose version is I played Division I, Division II college basketball, and I was finishing out here as a grad transfer in Southern Colorado at a D2 school. And
D1
last
ball.
semester I started, yeah, small Division I school in Tennessee, Austin
Wow.
P State University. So
Okay.
6'2" white kid, nothing special. I just was a gym rat.
Can you dunk?
Once upon a time, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Heck
Nothing
yeah.
crazy, but like basic dunk packages, yes.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so last semester I was finishing my master's, saw the YouTube videos, was like, all right, I'll see if my neighbors will do it. Got a guy to tell.
What were you studying?
My undergrad was exercise science, which is athlete default for don't know what you want to do, like I just dribble a ball. Kinesiology, technically, okay,
Yeah.
which is basically useless. And my master's was in education, so that I only chose education because one, I like people, but like two, it was all online, so I could do that and just go to practice, and it was super chill. But yeah, so I had my last semester, and I realized, oh, I didn't want to work for other people, and that entrepreneur spirit kind of like kicked up. Um, and so basically, saw, Lester Brothers online. I was like, I'll go try, see if my neighbors will say yes. Got a guy, and like the first hour, I'm like, hey neighbor, name's Chris. I have a window cleaning company. The whole works. And
Yeah.
he's like, all right, let's do it. When are you gonna get it done? I'm like, yeah, I'm done for today. I didn't know how to clean windows or anything.
Yeah.
So I said, I'll be
Just to
back
get all
tomorrow.
nice, squeegee.
I'll
Yeah.
be back
Yeah.
tomorrow after lunch or whatever, get her done.
Watch some
So
YouTube videos.
in the meantime, I was officiating high school basketball. Side plug, I'm a college basketball official on the side for fun.
Oh,
So
cool.
I actually got to work with the Philadelphia 76ers and referee their training camp last year,
Oh.
for like a week, and get screamed at by like Joel Embiid and all those guys. So that was chill. But so I love that stupid orange ball that bounces. So I love being around the game. But I had like an hour before I had to go ref. So the guy said yes. I'm like, hey, I'll be back tomorrow. So I go ref the games. Then I go to Home Depot at like 9, bucket mop, soap, squeegee, cheap stuff. Show up the next day, probably do an average to below average job. His windows were super grody, and yeah, he paid me like $200. I was like, huh, no, that wasn't the worst thing in the world. So, and then that fall, this would have been like late summer 2023.
Wow. It's like a
I
year and a
started
half
to
now.
like, yeah, so I started to get a lot more competent selling
Hmm.
just from the videos online. But I knew that some of the sales content was missing. So objection handling, buyer seller psychology, all of those things, I didn't have it. I was
Yeah.
just really likable. And so I jumped in the course or in the, HSL, which was,
Okay.
Josh and Oliver's group,
Yeah.
and then basically took the training a little more serious, and I got really good at selling 1 to 2K worth of initial sales and window cleaning. I would, have 1 to 2 technicians, one technician who was a buddy of mine during the week, and two that worked with my wife. I'm married, by the way. Two guys that worked with my wife on the weekend. And so I would run that up, and then I got two of my buddies to fly out, and I was like, "Hey, this sounds kind of crazy, but it's good money, and I can teach you how to sell this stuff." So they flew out late fall. We did a blitz late fall 2023. We ran it up for like a week or two, and one of the guys was like, "Hey, can I move out here and work with you?"
Mm.
So 2024 last year, he became like
Dude, that
my
is
like
so quick.
yeah. So
Like,
2024. So last year was
so
our
you
first
started
full
in like
year.
late 2023, and then you had like guys flying out by the end of the year.
Pretty much. Good. Two of my best buddies. Like I'm from Missouri, so we're all from Missouri. So one of them was living here at the time, but he was moving back to like Arkansas area, and then the other guy, he was in Missouri, and I was like, hey, this sounds crazy, but I will pay you really well if you will come
Hmm.
out here and like just go all in with me.
Hmm.
And so I gave him like really high commission and overrides, and he was kind of like the sales manager.
Hmm.
And that winter, I was because I was reffing all winter. I was like recruiting kids, like talking to kids. Like I was going into like Chipotle and Subway and just like, hey, what's good on the menu, and just like starting a conversation.
Yeah.
And I would be like,
Dude, you
hey,
want to
how
know the
much?
Hoopers, eh?
Oh, dude. I was like, yeah, how much do they pay you? It's like, oh, like $15. I was like, dude, you want to make like 300-400 bucks a day? Like, come work. And they're like, all
Yeah.
right. So thanks, babe. Uh, got to get the caffeine plug.
Hey, I get
But
it.
yeah, so fast forward, that's when me and Luke became best buddies. Shout out Luke Flex for whoever's
Was that
listening.
Luke?
No, but he came out on the
Okay.
Blitz too. He
Cool.
actually did come out on the Blitz, but we had met via Josh and
Shout
Oliver's
out Lou
program.
Flex. Yeah.
Yeah, we were both in the HSL, which is that group. Um,
Cool.
you know, and so then I did a Blitz in February, like in North Carolina, just to make some money so we could buy some nice stuff. So me and Luke actually went to North Carolina for like 2 weeks and just did a Blitz in February because the weather was decent. And then March was when I started my company last year. So I
Wow.
got I got three full-time technicians, and I had me, my sales manager, and then like four-ish high school kids that were solid.
And they were
And
teching.
we ran it up for the year. We did 500K in initial sales, like serviced.
Yeah.
I'm sure some people got some free services in there. I don't know. I don't even know. It was amazing experience. Door to door changed my life. Um, and now I have a real window cleaning company. And somewhere in that year, we got really intelligent and we started selling plans. Um,
When
and
do
it
you
was
think that was? Like, was that like?
um,
Is this? That's.
me,
Let's get
me,
into plans and all that stuff.
yeah. So, so there's some context. So my mentor, I knocked on this guy's door when I was in North Carolina.
Mhm.
Young guy, fat house. Okay,
Mhm.
he's like 35ish, probably, give or take. And I'm like, hey, boss, is homeowner here? I
Yeah.
couldn't tell, genuinely. And he's like, what's up, man? My wife saw you from a mile away. And I'm like,
What?
man. I'm like, yeah. She was like, yeah, someone's knocking doors. And I was
Yeah.
like, man. I thought you never asked. Take 2 steps, I'll just show you. And then I gotta go. And I went into the whole pitch, and I
Yeah.
start drawing on his windows and stuff. Come to find out, he owns a $60 million pest control company, and
Whoa.
he started in door to door, and he has locations from Kansas City all the way to the East Coast, and $100 million company probably now.
What's his name?
And
Can you drop that or?
John Mark Bolton is his name.
Okay.
There's three owners, but it's John Mark Bolton, and it's Clear Defense Pest Control. He has some stuff on YouTube, so I did some research on him. But so
Cool.
now
Did
I
you
said,
sell him?
hey man, I said, hey, I don't want you to buy the service. I need 30 minutes of your time. So we
Wow.
got on a Zoom like when we came back after the Blitz, did some mentoring stuff, just asked a ton of questions for myself, and Luke was in some of those calls as well. And so now he mentors us, me and Luke, pretty much every quarter or whenever, we want to set up a call, he'll die some time up for us. And basically, he was the one who was like, "Hey, stop selling one-time services. That's dumb."
Mm.
So this would probably have been like March, April, like early,
Okay.
pretty early, in last year. But I wasn't too confident in my kid, in like the high school kids selling it,
Yeah.
because we were good at sales, but I wanted to provide a high quality service as well.
Hmm.
And so I had to make myself very competent in the fulfillment side, and I had to train all the techs, and
Gotcha.
you wear all the hats, okay, when
Yeah.
you first start.
Of
You
course.
wear every hat, okay? I'm still wearing a couple hats, but like you wear every hat, okay? And so I myself and Alex, we started plotting, who is my guy who I got to move out. I was like, "Hey, let's start ripping these plans and see if we can get people to like get signatures and stuff." And he's
Yeah.
like, "All right." So basically I talked to John Mark, and he was like, "Hey, just go make something and get people to start signing it." I was like, "Okay, cool." So I get on, I just make an Adobe document, it's got like a contract, and then it's got boxes you can check. So it's
Mm.
like every 12 months, 6 months, 3 months, inside, outside,
And these were
screens,
paper.
tracks.
You'd
It
keep
was
them.
digital, so
Okay.
we'd be like, "Yep, so I got you down here every 6 months on your phone. I've got
Yeah.
you every 6 months. We'll do the exterior at 249, whatever. Interior's optional. You can do it for 199, but whatever." It was just like, and then basically I was like, "Yep, just sign here." And then every Monday, was like my admin day.
Yeah.
I would send everyone's emails to them on Monday with their copies. It was super bootleg. Super bootleg.
Dang.
Yeah, it was wild. And so, but here's the crazy thing. I was like, I had a hard time, I didn't have any evidence to where if it would work or not. It was just, there was a concept. And
Yeah.
so the first day I dropped Alex off to go knock, the first person he sold, they signed up every 6 months on the exterior, and we ended up doing the interior on that first service as well. And it was kind of like a light
Yeah.
bulb moment. So it was probably like April, like it was early. It was like April of last year, and we've actually done their house
A
three
lot of
times
times.
since then. Yeah, every six
Yeah.
months. So they're like still, well, they moved. So they like moved, but then I knocked on the door for the new people who moved in. I was like, "Hey, we do the windows. Do you guys just want to keep it?" And they were like, "Yeah." So we've still
Yeah.
done the same house like every 6 months. So we've done them 3 or 4 times.
So,
But that's
dude,
how it started for
let's
us.
get into like the actual sale, because until now, like until I kind of found out about Gatlin and stuff like that, I never really understood plans and like why you should sell plans and stuff like that. And so we're just starting to roll them out. Um, so I haven't like I've never sold a plan at the door, but I know that that's stuff we're gonna start doing. But we sold a lot of like just one times. We've got guys in the area. We're gonna be over. Cool. Let me just get you on the schedule. Get their info.
Yeah.
Boom. Can you kind of go over, I guess, how the sale differentiates from like just a one time when you got to
Yeah,
get a
so
card and you got to get
yep.
a signature, and what kind of problems you ran into when you first started that?
Oh yeah. First of all, shout out to Gatlin. Mint, if you guys are watching, if anyone's watching this and they're not in Mint's program,
Are you in it?
just I'm not in it. It's not ready for me.
Okay.
Ask Gatlin
Oh.
about it. Ask him about it. I don't know. But
Okay.
no, it's an amazing, like Gatlin is one of the smartest individuals I've met. He's super
Mhm.
intelligent. He's extremely business savvy. So shout out to those guys, and his team is so dialed. It's so good. Okay.
Mhm.
Those guys are legit, and they're probably going to take over the whole stratosphere. So anyway, um, yeah. So the whole
Yo,
process
and
at the
for y'all
door. Go
watching,
ahead.
I'm in it.
Yeah,
Like,
that's how some
and
people are sending me screenshots. They're like, "Oh, we got Louis,"
yeah,
and I'm
really.
like, "Oh, yo."
Yeah,
So
I'm
yeah,
learning a
it's
ton. I'm learning a ton. It's incredible, and yeah, shout out Gatlin.
yeah,
We'll drop a
yeah,
link in the if you guys want to join it, or
yeah,
just like honestly watch their videos. But yeah, keep going, bro.
yeah. So on the doors, um, the sale is, I'm assuming whoever's watched this has seen probably the typical
Yeah, for
window
sure.
cleaning, door knocking spiel. So
Yeah.
it's like the first half of the presentation is pretty regular. So it's like, hey, like
Yeah.
It's like, hey, Sally and them didn't tell y'all what's going on today, did they? They're like, what? It's like, yeah, I'm doing all this stuff. Yeah, like, whatever. You could just get into it, okay?
Yeah. I watched
It's like,
some of
hey,
your videos last night, and I saw you were like, "Yeah,
oh
did you guys
gosh,
talk to John yesterday?"
dude, some of those are older clips. I have no idea. Like my buddy's chopping those up. I don't even know what some of those are,
Okay.
but anyway.
But
So
yeah,
yeah, it's like,
same
hey,
same
did they
start
tell y'all? They tell y'all what's going on? No, cool.
for
I'll count
sure.
the windows, get you a price. So for all those watching, the first half of the presentation, you just want to count up the windows, okay? That's pretty standard. Count the windows up, and then we sell with a slick. I will.
Mm. Oh, yo,
We
slow
we
down.
we sell. Here's the backside of it. We sell with a slick. It's nothing crazy, but it's basically just got like prices on it, and like
Yeah, like
for a
pain
one-time
ranges.
price, a 6-month price, and if you're in a colder climate like Arctic Shine, probably like a tri-annual option. For
Yeah.
me, we sell quarterlies, even though Colorado gets cold as biscuits. Like we still make the quarterlies work. Um, so basically, when you come back around, you just give them a couple. Hey, say, hey, look, you got a big house, a lot of pains. You're in this category. I always ask them, have you guys ever had a window cleaning service?
Hmm.
It's like, yeah. It's like, great. Was that a good experience? It's like, or was it like neutral? It's like, well, the last guy bent my screen. It's like, oh man, I'm so sorry. They weren't professional enough. Like, I try to make it a little more intimate, and I try to ask a few more questions so I actually know. Some
Hmm.
people you could tell right away they're probably just like a one-off type of person, but like,
Hmm.
you know, 9 times out of 10 you want to pitch the plans because it doesn't hurt anything. So
Yeah.
it's like, hey, you're in this category. One-time pricing, kind of pricey. This would be every 6 months. This would be every 3 times a year. And then I'll flip the slick around. Cool thing is if you want to do it triannual, you get a bunch of free stuff. And then that's where I have like on
And
the
that's
back
the one
free
you
stuff.
want to
So,
sell.
oh yeah, you want to,
What's the one you want to sell the most of? Quarterlies?
I mean, yeah. I mean,
Is the
I want more
triannual
money,
one
so
pretty
yeah,
good?
more.
Welcome to the Home Service
I
Chad
just use
Podcast, the
triannual
show
because
for
it's
home
like
service
a lot of
entrepreneurs who don't just want to make money, but who also want to build elite lives and create impact. Each week, Louis
so
sits
like
down with high performers in home services to uncover the secrets to their success. No fluff, no shortcuts, just real conversations with those doing the work. Now, here's your host, Louis Moucher.
got it.
And
So
then down in Kelowna, it's kind of like Utah market. So we're going to go quarterlies, monthlies, and
yeah,
biannuals.
yep. So a lot of people are somewhat similar-ish. Like, let's say you have a 6 to 8 month season, you could sell a
Hmm.
triannual, sure, and basically
Yeah.
you would come out on a quarterly frequency or something, however you need to figure it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, so basically it's like, yep, which one of those works best for you? And then they're like, well, do you have a card? And then this is when the objections come. And it's like, yeah, I don't have one on me. And you just ask the regular questions, is it price or frequency?
Hmm.
Whatever. It's like, well, I don't think we need it done that many times. It's like, okay, cool. If I did something kind of crazy, why don't I just give you my quarterly price and we'll come out twice a year? Something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Basically, Gatlin I didn't make this. This was if you know Nico on Gatlin's team, he
Yeah.
actually helped he
Nico
actually helped work.
Braswell?
Yeah, we worked on something together to kind of make some of this
Because he's
to make
so
it work.
pissed, right?
Yeah, Nico's a legend. He's dope. Um, Around sales teams and stuff, like 6 years, he's a legend. But it's
Hmm.
like basically you have your floor pricing, so what you're willing to do the
Yeah.
jobs for, no matter the frequency.
And you just have that in your
You
head,
just pitch
obviously.
it. You just pitch it. Well, or on the sheet, or like you
You have
can
your
just do
floor.
some. Not on the
Then what?
sheet, but for me it's simple math. I basically just I can bump.
Right.
I let the kids bump them up a whole category basically if they need to.
Oh, cool.
Like I've adjusted accordingly to where basically the price sheet is dummy proof, so sales reps can't screw it up.
Hmm.
And same thing, that's all the pricing is. So,
Right.
what
So
I
you
tell the
let
guys
them.
it's
The worst case scenario is you let them go down one pain range, and you get that sale.
yeah, which is roughly, it's still a good price
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's like, hey, totally cool, you know, um if I did something kind of crazy, because I am just trying to fill some spots. So if you'd save me the trouble,
Hmm.
I'd love to show you what we could do. If I did something, every 6 months and I just gave you this price, would you give me a shot? It's like, perfect. Just be
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
persuasive. It's like, hey, just try me out. whatever.
Pleasantly persuasive, right?
Pleasantly, persistently persuasive. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And the second part of this is like, I know like Austin. I think you already interviewed him. I think I watched that.
Yeah.
Austin's awesome on the door-to-door side. Like in Florida, like excellent market. His attitude is amazing. I
Mm-hmm.
think he cares about people. I think he cares about doing a good job and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
His model is a little similar yet different. He does the monthlies. So it's like, hey,
Mm.
it's normally $3.99, comes down to $2.99, and then it's just like $80 a month or something like that. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
monthly billing.
So he does that. I've thought about it. I might, when I go to my next location, I might experiment with that. But um, so there's a couple different ways to do it. So we set the billing. Um, we set the billing at the first of the target month.
Right.
So it's like if
Just like
today's
mint.
June, yeah, like I just saw an email come through with someone I sold. I wish I could
Mm-hmm.
show you, but I don't know how to screen share. But this lady's name's Melissa, so she's 225 biannually.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm looking at it. The first bill date for her we set 6 months from now, which would be December 1st.
Right.
So at the door, what we do because the way our CRM's set up, we set the bill date for the first of whatever that next, like, if it's quarterly, it'll be, September 1st
Mm-hmm.
as of today. So like me and two guys are going to go out this afternoon, today and tomorrow. So if we sell it quarterly, it'll be September 1st.
Yeah.
If it's biannually, it'll be
And
December
then you just
1st.
sell the first cleaning as a one time.
Well, no, so we'll have them sign, they'll put their card in.
Yeah.
It won't auto bill them until December 1st, but since we sign them up with their card, basically we can just do the billing after, like manually with my VA after the first service. So
Right.
my admin, the next day he'll go in and say, "Hey, how'd they do? Great. Cool. We'll send you a receipt and then we'll just take care of billing automatically from here."
Yeah. Yeah.
So like we can just go in and bill them because their card's already saved. Once they sign up for the plan, it just saves their card. So we can,
So
if they
dude,
want to add, if they want to add something in, like solar panels or interior screen repair or something like
mm-hmm.
that, they can do that.
Back on the sales side, what kind of like what does it look like when they say yes to getting the signature and the card on file? Like are they expecting that, or do you kind of have to just like kind of be super confident and plow through it?
Not always. You definitely want to be
Or
confident.
do
Biggest
you get
thing,
friction on it?
yeah, I mean, yeah, it's an objection
Yeah.
just like anything else for a credit card, but it's like, it's like, biggest thing, if you don't make it a big deal, the homeowners don't make it a big deal.
Right.
So it's like, yep, and then, you just want to grab a card for me that we can save on file. And they're like, "Oh, I need a credit card." And it's like, "Yep." And you just look at your phone. It's like, "Mm-hmm." And then they just go
Yeah.
get it. And then if they're just
And then
like,
you give the phone to
I
them and
don't,
they put it in.
yeah, it's like, yeah, and if you want to pop it in the phone, like, I don't really
Mm-hmm.
care. Like, I make it where I'm so detached, like, I literally don't care. Like, I'm just like,
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah.
don't care. You just want to be detached, but I want to be so nonchalant. And it's like, and they're like, "Oh, we need a card." It's like, yeah. And they're like, "Oh, can I just do it after?" It's like, oh, "I'm so sorry, I didn't even explain it." And then I'll take the slick away and I'll put it under my arm and I'll be like a human now. And I'll be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't even explain how it works." So, um, we just need a card on file to dispatch like a truck to you guys. We won't bill you until,
Okay.
we get a chance to like make sure the service looks really awesome for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then moving forward, it'll just take care of it automatically. Like whatever your target month is, it'll just bill for you guys, and we'll schedule you out with a 2 week and a 2 day reminder, so you always know when we're gonna show up. But if you want to go grab that, I'll just wait super quick for you, and then I
Nice.
loop back in. It's like, yeah, if you just want to go grab it. Some people still don't want to give you a card.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if I'm running a big sales team, it's a non-negotiable. If
Mm-hmm.
you're an individual service provider, I'll use an example, and I don't recommend this. Like when we were in Mint, like we would get, there would be jobs that probably like would get taken off the schedule because we didn't have a card on file.
Yeah.
So like if you have a sales team, I would really pound that in because you just don't want cancels.
For
But
sure.
also, cause if you get a card on file, you never have cancels.
Mm-hmm.
Your sales to service ratio goes to like 99% essentially.
Okay.
So there's that. So that prevents that. But um, if you're an individual, like I had this one guy earlier in the year, he was like, "I'm not giving you my card." He was like, "I'm not doing it. Like, there's nothing you could tell me." He
Mm-hmm.
literally said that, and I was like, "Hey," I was like, "You had a bad experience at the door, didn't you?" And he was
Yeah.
like, He was like, yeah. I was like, it was pest control, wasn't it? He was like, yeah. I was like, yeah, man, I'm super sorry. Like they weren't, able to be the professional enough to take care of you. I would love to change that narrative. I'll just send you the link if you could take care of it for me before the day's over. We'll just get you done. I'll just take 5 minutes. I'll pop the screens off for you guys, and we'll get you done tomorrow.
Hmm.
So like what we did last year, we would never do same day services. It was always next day, like up to 3 days out. We would
Yeah.
pop off all the screens for the homeowners so that
Wow.
they wouldn't cancel.
Dude. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, and then it got to a point. It got to
So
the
the
point where
salesman would pop the screens.
yeah, they take 5-10 minutes. At least
How'd
the
they get the
face
high ones?
level.
The
At
low.
least the face level screens with like a screen tool.
Yeah.
Um, or like if it were me, I'd be like, cool, can I take like 2 minutes and just pop out the second story one super quick? I'll just leave them in the garage or whatever. So
Yeah.
I would always ask that, or it's like, hey, um, I can get them all now, or I can just do the face level ones now, and you want me to leave them on the back porch? Is that cool? Sweet. And then
Hmm.
that way, no one would cancel.
Did you guys have
Hardly,
like
because they
high
were they were
cancellations?
invested.
Yeah.
Not necessarily, but I didn't want to do same days. Like
For sure.
my model was a little different
Dude,
than the
same days
pump and
is
dump
not
stuff.
fun, bro. I had some days last year I opened the day, there's like one job. I got three guys to take care
Yeah,
of, and it's like, yeah.
yeah. It's basically same days is fine if that's what your model is. Like I know some guys will still teach it. Like I don't know if
Yeah.
you've interviewed Nick yet. Like Nick Gaines is. I think
Yeah, dude,
he
he was my
still
first
will.
one.
Was he on here?
Yeah.
I think I need to go back and maybe watch that one. Nick's a really good friend of mine. So Nick
Nice.
and I, sidebar, were like the top two or three students for,
Okay.
Josh and Oliver, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Like me, him, couple, maybe one or two other guys were doing like good numbers.
Mhm.
So, but Nick's great. Nick's really
Dude,
good at sales.
yeah. Quick question on the plans again at the door.
Hmm.
Is signature is pretty straightforward. Like, do you show them the whole agreement, or like, what does that kind of look like?
Yeah, so I'll just be like, yep, so I got you down, and I'll just show them. I'll be like, yep, I got you down.
Right.
We'll do every 6 months. It'll be 249. I'm gonna go ahead and knock off $50 today. Whatever you need to do. So it'll be
Yeah.
199 after we do tomorrow, and then it'll just be, you know, 250, 249. Um, and then you'll get a copy of all this. So if you have any questions, just please let me
Mm,
know. Just
yeah.
let me know. So like CRM takes care of a lot. CRM will. So yep, if you just want to initial or sign this guy, cool. You'll get a copy of all this.
Yeah.
Okay. And I had this one guy. Here's another example. You'll like this. This was like last month. I sold this guy at his door. I just sold like back to back to back people or something like that. And basically I convinced him. He was like, well, let's wait for my wife to get back. I don't know. I was like, cool. I was like, hey, why don't we do something kind of crazy? Because I need to get going. False
Hmm.
time constraint, the whole spiel. I was like, and I showed him the slick. I was like, let's just do you for this price. And he's like, oh, I don't want it 4 times a year. I'm like, no, 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 no. I said, we'll do you twice a year. I'll just
Mm,
give you this price. He's like, all right, let's do it. Because I got friction whenever I brought up. I said, yeah, you wouldn't have it. You wouldn't. I like to say you don't have trouble saving a card on file with me, do you?
hmm.
And they're usually like, oh, no, no, no. So, but when I brought it up, he's like, well, let's just wait. I don't know what my wife wants. I was like, cool. I was like, yeah, I'll send this over to you. And then I'm like, you know what? Would you just save me the trouble? And so he's like, yeah, let's do that. And he starts going inside to get his card. His door's still open. He's like, you're not gonna scam me, are you? And I go, if I do, give me 3 days to catch a flight out of town. Like, just fun stuff
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Window cleaning is such a light sale.
Yeah.
Like, it's so light.
Dude,
Like, it's a
you can
luxury
troll pretty hard.
service.
Like, I have a
It's
lot of
a
fun when I.
Dude, it's such a luxury service.
Yeah.
Like, you really don't need to pressure anyone to pay for window cleaning. Because my thing is, I'll tell people, I'll be like, hey, I'm so sorry I didn't even explain it. I'll go through it, blah, blah. And then I'll say, just so you know, if you ever don't want the service, I don't want to give it to you. Like, I take
Hmm.
care of people like my mom and dad. If I'm not going to do it for my parents, I'm not going to do it for my customers. So, like, if you hate how clean the windows are, please, by all means. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
that's just my conviction whenever I'm selling. It's a little different. Like the frameworks are similar, like as far as the process goes, but I really am an advocate for putting your personality into your sale.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I
that's
saw
my
that from
personality.
watching some of your videos.
Yeah.
Um, dude, that's a lot of sauce right there, bro.
Yep, so it'll just be $4.99 for my time. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But no,
We need a
I
course
think
coming,
that
bro. We need a
I know. So I'll say this. I feel kind of like a Swiss Army knife in the sense of you have like Mint on one side, amazing multi-million dollar company, multiple
Mhm.
services, like no door to door though, like zero. They did a little bit last year, but like zero basically. And then
Mhm.
you have like Austin down in Florida, which is all door to door monthlies. Like
Yeah.
you're only making your knuckles bleed.
Yeah.
But then I feel like there's a huge genre of entrepreneurs who like a lot of them will want to knock on doors, a lot of them don't. Or a lot of them are already at 10K a month and they want to go to 20, or they're at 20 and they want to go to 40.
Mhm.
And it's like I'm in the middle of all that. Like if you want to learn how to do sales at a high level, great. I have experience in that. I ran a team. I knock on a ton of doors. I think my first year I did like 186K in initial sales by myself, like out of 516.
Mhm.
So like me and my sales manager did like 300 something, just us two.
Yeah.
And so, and then if you wanna do the other stuff, like I got 4 leads in this morning from like Meta, website, door
Yeah.
hanger, like all the things. So
So,
like
do you
I
think it's
understand.
important to have like both those lead sources, and like why?
It is important. Door to door is undefeated in the sense of it's only going to cost, if you don't have money, it's just going to cost you some time.
Mhm.
So like you don't have to pay anything. It's just your time. Okay, so if you and you can acquire customers a lot quicker that way. Something to consider, it's like if your service isn't great, you want to consider the churn of those customers. Like what's the lifetime value, what's the LTV of those clients? Like are you really
Right.
retaining them?
Yeah.
Some people would argue maybe the door-to-door, customers don't retain as long. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll find out because we have a ton, but
Yeah.
like I don't know. I do know if you do a good job, they'll probably stick around for a bit. Um, so I think all of the acquisition methods work, but the main concept that people need to understand is, and this is maybe something even for you and myself to consider talking, you
Mhm.
want omnipresence with marketing,
Right.
like with brand awareness. Sorry, brand awareness. You want omnipresence. So it's like it's not like, oh, they knocked on the door, they said yes. It's like, oh, well, I saw yard signs around the city like twice last
Yeah.
week. Then my neighbor got it done and I saw a yard sign in their yard. Then they left a door hanger with a $50 off coupon. Then I saw a Facebook lead with the whole like their trucks and stuff. Then I
Mhm.
saw another truck driving around. Oh, and then someone tapped on my door. Like, yeah, I'll give them a shot.
It's
It's
number
like
7.
you wanna see them. It's how many impressions you can make.
Mhm.
Door to door is great because if you're a great door to door sales rep, yeah, you can get them on the first go round. But like,
Mhm.
if you have omnipresence and you start to build brand awareness, like a guy today, I closed him, Charlie Johnston. We're gonna do him tomorrow. It's like $500. I was like, hey Charlie, by the way, how'd you hear about us? And he's like, oh well, I just looked you up on Google and I saw you had like amazing reviews.
Yeah.
I was like, dang Charlie, you're kind of selling me a little bit. We just start having fun with them. But I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, we'll get you done tomorrow. Just leave the house dirty for me. But basically, it's all of those things working together. So I would say, yeah, you should go knock doors, especially
Mhm.
anyone who's never knocked doors. Door knocking changed my life. You should go knock doors tomorrow, today, for 10 hours. Just go. Just feel that pain. Like, just go do it. Okay? Yeah, you should order 10,000 door hangers, 100%. Yeah, you should order 10,000 sticky notes, 100%, and pay a kid $15 an hour to go do it. Like,
What
or
is
you could,
sticky
or
notes?
you, um,
Branded. Dang. You stick that on
yep.
people's
So,
doors?
yep. So you can get 10,000 sticky notes for like $500, and
Let's
you
see
can
those
have
again. Are they just stickers or sticky notes?
they're sticky notes.
And you just hit them
They
on
kind of
doors?
they kind of botched it with the white outline, but basically it's like scan the QR code for $50 off.
Cool.
So like, yeah, I paid one of my technicians.
Yo, I've
I gave
never
him a
seen that.
Segway, and I was like, yep, just go to these. Like, I made a spreadsheet, and I was like, go to these neighborhoods.
Yeah.
So yes,
Um.
all of those things work, but it's not like, oh, I'll go put 10,000 sticky notes up and I'll get 100 jobs back. It's
Yeah.
like hit the same neighborhood every single month with the same 1,200 sticky notes
Yeah.
every single month for like 6 months. Do that and you'll get leads.
For sure.
So it's everything. And then if you want a door knock, great. Door knocking's awesome.
Chris, you
Just don't
really.
be just don't be a a-hole as a salesman. Just be super
Yeah.
pleasant.
Yeah, dude, I see that a lot. Like, I don't know, it seems like a lot of door-to-door companies don't stick around too long, either because the service sucks, or, yeah, I don't know, people just, seems like a lot of door-to-door companies just don't last too long in Windows. But I feel like you can, if you have a good brand, you do good service, which is something I wanted to ask you about, was the brand.
Yeah.
Because I've seen you as Glide Guys, and then now you guys are Rise, right? And, dude, by the way, the Rise brand is super awesome.
Yeah.
So can you kind of go into why you rebranded, I guess, and
Yeah.
did you build the brand, the Rise brand? Because, dude, I saw those
Yeah.
trucks. I saw, it's a good brand.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, so it was Glide Guys at first, and that was just like first thing that came to my mind. I actually got 2 trucks wrapped with it. It was like
Mm.
it was not good though. It was like this pukey green, like yellow color. It was gross. Um, and it was just the first thing I was like, oh, that's fine. Like we'll be Glide Guys. But then after going to Vegas and getting with Gatlin for a couple months and picking his brain, it's like I kind of wanna maybe do a rebrand. And so Rise, basically, my buddy Blake. You need to talk to Blake. Blake's amazing. He does our content and our editing and helps run ads and stuff. And
Dude,
he's
you
literally
guys'
he's gonna sign.
socials are so fire.
Dude, Blake's gonna sign my paycheck like in 5, 10 years from now. Like that kid is amazing. And I got to keep him in my corner as long as I can. But um, so yeah, Blake kind of helped with the logo. He designed stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we were just kind of coming up with a couple names, and we were like, oh, let's just do Rise because no one had that as a window cleaning company.
Mhm.
And then the website is thebigrise.com, so I thought that was
Yeah.
kind of funny. Yeah, the Big Rise, and
I
it was
saw
easy to
that.
remember. So if we put it on a yard sign, it's super easy. And then I still like the bright color because it's like eye-catching. It's
Mhm.
supposed to be like some obnoxiously bright color or something like that, so people remember it. And then yeah, I mean the Ford Mavericks and stuff like Gatlin kind of he was already on top of that stuff. So
Yeah.
the
Are you guys?
Rise
Did
then
you guys buy
the,
those cash or you financed
no,
them?
I put some money down, but we financed them.
Nice.
Something else you could maybe, I don't know if this is helpful.
Mhm.
I'm learning never use your own money. Use other people's money.
Yeah.
So like
Dude,
even
this
if
is
you
all
have
like
cash in
such a new ball game for me, bro.
even if you have cash in the bank, like don't use it. So yeah, I took a business loan even though we had some liquid. I used some of that, but then my business is also new, so like there's not a lot of history. So whenever I was going to try to buy stuff, they were like giving me a hard time about it. So like one of them I put like 10K down, one of them I put some money down, things like that.
Mhm.
Um, but the name Rise itself, it was just like a play on words. It was like we want to rise to the occasion, haha. You got to rise up to the high windows,
Yeah.
And it was just like it was like short and
And it
sweet
also goes
and it
everywhere,
was
right?
clean. Yeah, it was
It's
clean.
not like
So
market unique to a market.
yeah.
Um. So when was Vegas?
Let's see. I went out to Utah to prepare to meet all them and like
So how did you meet Gatlin? I wanted to ask you about all this
yeah,
Vegas glitzy
I
stuff.
sent him a DM actually on Instagram because he was trying to launch his new office, and all I said was I had just started watching some of the stuff because a buddy was like, "Hey, you should check them out,"
Mhm.
and I was like, "Hey, I see you're trying to do this. This is what I did with my team. I might be able to help. Let me know if that's something you want to talk about." And he messaged me back like a day or two later. Got on a call and then went out there, met them, the warehouse for like a weekend. And then we started to prepare to move forward with doing a launch for Vegas, which I guess was like right after Thanksgiving, basically. So like
And so
all
you
of
ran the sales
December.
team.
Yeah, and it wasn't like the best experience as far as like sales goes.
Yeah,
Like Vegas was a much harder market than all of us expected.
yeah.
For a
I'm
few
saying there's a
reasons.
lot of
One,
gated and
oh brother, I've never seen anything like this in my life.
okay.
Literally every neighborhood there's a literal gate. And then
Yeah.
the ultra wealthy neighborhoods there's like guard post gated. And I was so stressed out. I was like, I've never witnessed this.
Yeah.
Like, so we were tailgating into everything, like constantly.
Oh.
So, yeah, we got kicked out of a couple. I remember we were in this one crazy neighborhood, and I'm selling this guy. It's like dark,
Yeah.
and the police people are coming. I'm like, I think they're gonna kick me out. He's like, hey, no worries. Just can you send me that? I was like, yeah, I got you. But like, it was crazy. But
That's
yeah,
hilarious.
um, it was rough. It only lasted probably like 6 weeks all in because I didn't have enough. The sales reps, they could only commit like a month at a time. So like I had a good crew for December, and
Yeah.
basically it took us all of December to learn how to really get good at this. So Luke was one. So
Yeah.
ask Luke about it. Gunner, Jack Flippo,
Gunner.
um, Gunner's is Gunner in
I've
the group?
seen Gunner. I don't think so.
Dude,
He's in your videos though, right?
dude, dude, that's my dog. Gunner's a stud. I'm going to his wedding in August. Gunner's
Oh, let's
amazing.
go.
Um, Jack Flippo, who's incredible, incredibly confident human. He's out in like Seattle area. But yeah, so we did that, and then it kind of cut short, but it was just enough to where they could get some momentum, selling some plans, some repeats, and then they let their marketing kind of catch up. And now I think they're doing at least 20K a month. I think is what
Yeah.
I
How
think. I
much did
think
you
their
guys
Vegas
sell down there?
branch. Honestly, I don't even know. Not that much. Probably like 60K or something. I don't even know. I'll have to look. But it was super rough.
Yeah.
Um, it was a hard market, and
What
I'm a
was your
good sales
biggest
rep.
takeaway from that? From the Vegas?
Um, the biggest takeaway, there was a lot. I mean, we got to pick Gatlin's brain every day, so like
Yeah.
business literacy was probably a big one. Business literacy, like
What is
systems.
that? Right.
I say business literacy, like just being literate in how a real business needs to function.
Yeah.
So systems, positions for hire that need to run, like what their responsibilities are, like chain of command, like
Right.
Gallon should never be getting certain type of messages from people, like it should be going through the chain of command. We got
Hmm.
to see how well their technicians were trained. Those guys are like sniper, literal marksmen for window cleaning. Um, and we also learned the sales side. Like we got to work with Nico and stuff and all those guys. So it was business and also plans as well. Like it was a combination. We got to see how real business like does their thing. So I think that was probably it was definitely eye-opening for all of us because I thought I was doing pretty good,
Hmm.
and we did a lot of revenue, but it was not as
Dude, they're so
systemized as what
dialed
it
in,
is
bro.
now. Yeah,
Yeah.
they've really shout out to shout out to Gatlin. He's really kind of
Let's just go with
cracked the
Gatlin,
code
bro.
as far as what it looks like to build a recurring window cleaning company. He's figured it out. So kudos again. Yeah.
What do you got moving forwards? What's you mentioned kind of like a new market, possibly.
Yeah. Yeah, so I have a soft
What's in the
like license.
pipeline?
I have a soft licensing deal with two of my buddies. They actually operate with Rise in Missouri and Arkansas. They're
Oh,
just
cool.
individual operators. So Jason,
Yeah.
Alex, two of my good buddies. Last
They're just
month was
one
their
man
second.
shows.
Alex has like one technician, but yeah, like Jace is in Arkansas. He does have a Maverick and he's working on getting it wrapped and stuff. And
Hmm.
then Alex is in Springfield, Missouri, which is probably like 100, 200K population.
Hmm.
Um, their last 2 months, Alex did like 16K, and his second month, Jace did like 8 or 9K by himself. So
Yeah.
I'm helping them kind of implement some of these systems that I'm using to help
Hmm.
them build their own business, their own home, their own window cleaning asset essentially.
And you're taking
But
like a small royalty or something.
yeah, small cut. But I'm really just trying to be a resource for them
Yeah.
and help them build their own assets so their business can work for them one day. Um, but as far as Colorado, we want to get the Colorado branch to 7 figures by next year. So we're moving into our office space August 1st.
Cool.
So and that's in Monument, Colorado, which geographically, if anyone's curious, it's like perfectly centered between Colorado Springs, which is where I am, and then like Castle Rock, Castle Pines, and
Hmm.
then like Denver, which is a massive, massive city, is like 45 minutes. And then
Mm.
so we have like a big service area like right in this where our shop is going to be, so we're super
Close to the
blessed.
GMB.
The GMB, what's that?
Google My Business.
Um, yeah, I don't know if I'll move it because that might mess with the
Yeah. Well, like the closer you, like wherever the people are searching from, like whoever's close pops up.
yeah.
Like
So
obviously
we'll
not
probably
straight up, but that's a big piece.
yeah, we'll probably move it. Um, so we want to get this branch to 7 figures recurring, and then
Seven
probably going
figures
to end up
recurring by the end of
yeah,
the
and then
year.
by the end of next year's like
So by
active
the end of
plans,
2026.
active plans recurring 7 figures.
Dude, what do you think? Like a business with 7 figures in ARR. Like, what do you think that could sell for?
Well, I mean, it's what is it? They call it EBITDA or EBITDA.
EBITDA.
So it's basically like has to do with the profitability of it
Yeah.
and the predictability of it. So I don't know, probably like if you owned all your vehicles and like the shop and everything was dialed and you have a history of the
Hmm.
reservicing, probably like 2 to 3x at least. I don't know, something like that. I
Yeah.
think
Probably at
3x,
least, bro.
probably like 3x
Yeah.
ish.
On profit.
Yeah. So I wanna get to 7 figures, but I wanna buy all the other window cleaning
Okay.
businesses in my area eventually.
That's, yeah.
And
How
there's a
come?
there's a couple big ones.
Would you
I just
would you
wanna.
buy them and like rebrand them or like and put them as Rise or
Oh yeah. I'm
okay.
competitive. I'm very competitive, and it's probably
Yeah.
a little bit of pridefulness too. But I do want to build a big brand, in multiple states and areas and stuff. So similar to what Min's doing, like I'm not there yet, but I do want to build a big brand, and I want to be a resource for other people.
Hmm.
So we're gonna build Southern Colorado. We'll probably get into Denver, which will be an even bigger market, and then I'm probably gonna end up moving to Kansas City, Missouri, and start a branch because my family is in Missouri, and my wife and I have a 12-month-old. My daughter just turned 1.
Really?
Yeah,
You're a dad?
so oh yeah,
Dude.
we're balling. But
Congrats, brother. Yeah.
thank you. But yeah, so we just want to be closer to family because I want more kids and stuff, and I want a big family. And my wife's amazing, and she
Nice.
takes care of me so that I can run our business.
Yeah.
So I really want to have some support. So, but Kansas City's also a really good market. It's a big, big
Okay.
city.
Cool.
So we'll probably we'll try to monopolize Southern Colorado and get to Kansas City, and then also try to get Denver going. It's kind of the tentative plan.
Yeah. What's like do you have
One,
like
I have another technician who wants to start a branch in Arizona, but I don't. I'm still building. I'm still dialing my systems in because
Arizona's a
I'm.
big market, eh?
Yeah, it is, but I'm still dialing all my systems, so
Hmm.
it's not perfect yet, which is why two of my buddies are kind of lab rats in that sense.
Yeah.
Um, so
Dude,
yeah, we do
question
want to
for
we do want to
you
make
on
fries. But
yeah, on the kind of system side,
yeah.
how do you like how do you make sure the communication with the like the sales guys and the technicians is super dialed? And like do you kind of see your sales team as kind of like a unit and the technicians as a unit or do you try and, you know, kind of have everyone as a big team?
Yeah, so I was fortunate enough. I had really good variance with my sales reps. They were really good kids,
Hmm.
like Christian families, like really good character. They're all athletes, and athletes like to
Nice.
perform. And so the short answer is you train every day. You constantly train. So we're gonna meet today at 12:30. We're gonna train for half hour. Then they're gonna be on turf until like 7 o'clock. And then like on the week like last year every morning at like 8 a.m. we did a video call.
Hmm.
So we would go over either a clip from me that I recorded or like a clip from I was in Josh and Oliver's course, so they had a bunch of clips and stuff. So we would go over different clips and we would have interactive training. And the short answer is constant communication, because yeah, the sales reps can screw stuff up,
Yeah.
and the last thing that you want is your technicians to not feel appreciated or to feel like the sales reps are screwing something over.
Mm-hmm.
So again, that's why you have the slicks and the pricing sheet. That helps a lot.
Yeah.
And then for two, we have the sales reps put pretty detailed notes, like all right, let's pop this in. Great.
Yeah.
What else? What note? If this was your mom and dad's house, what notes do you think we should put in this?
Right.
And I'll make them kind of critically think a little bit. Like what does this technician need to know about this house? It's like, oh well, the window wells are locked, and there's one window on the back right side of the house where there's a cabinet and you're not going to be able to get the screen out from the inside, or something like that. I don't know. So we have them put pretty specific stuff, but the short answer is constant communication and training, like daily.
Okay. Cool. Can we go over your pay structure?
Yeah, that'll just be another $4.99. I'm just kidding. For the techs or for the sales
I'm
reps?
thinking mostly salesmen.
So what we do is if they sell a one-time service, it's lower commission. It's only 20%. If they sell a plan, we give them 40% on the initial sale and then 20% on the back end.
Wow.
However, they don't get that 40% up front. So I might have to explain this more than once, but that 40% doesn't come, that extra 20, I should say, doesn't come until they at least get to the second service.
Yeah.
And I might need to repeat that one more time if you need.
Sure.
So if you sell a plan
Yeah.
during the pay period, if it's like a 1 week or 2 week pay period or whatever it is, they'll get 20% every time, no matter if it's a one time or a plan.
Mhm.
Okay.
Oh, and the extra 20.
Yeah, so then like on the like if you sell a biannual, so they'll get 20% up front, but then on the second service they'll get 40.
Okay, I see.
But it balances out to where it's basically 30% of the CV,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Dude, why is the residual, or like, I guess, why is the whole, like, it just seems like the plans are huge. Like, you just really want to push plans.
yeah, I mean, here's the thing for anyone listening, and myself and you, selling one times does not help our companies.
Right.
It doesn't help. It helps in the sense of, okay, I can put a yard sign and still have brand awareness, but it doesn't help build enterprise value for your business. So like the one times are chill, like yeah, we'll get you done, whatever. Just maybe leave us a review, cool. But like it doesn't help. It doesn't help build the company. So the point of emphasis, you really need to incentivize sales reps to get plans. Otherwise, there's no incentive.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Yeah,
like,
dude, that's like way, way, way bigger for plans.
yeah, and just for
Like more than
context too,
double.
this is how pest control works.
Right.
You get maybe like I don't know like $50 like off the initial, but then you get like all your back end commission comes like at the end of the season or the next year or whatever that looks like.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing about window cleaning is in door to door, you don't really have as much margin as pest control does,
Yeah.
because it takes twice
The
the amount
labor.
of it takes twice the amount of revenue for the labor basically. So
Yeah.
from like 15 to roughly 30% ish, you know.
Yeah. What's your labor chilling at?
They're at 25% right now.
And are they
And I
are they subcontractors or?
So we're gonna get them all on W-2. They're technically for the rest of this year like 1099 technically, and I've been very explicit with them to say, hey, I'm still a startup. I'm gonna work with you guys and I'll help you. And so like I'm helping them all get their own S corp set up and their business entities if they want. And the guys who stick around all year, I'll probably pay for it. It's like $300. I'll probably pay for it for them and I'll help them so they can save money on taxes and stuff. But next year we'll get them all on W-2 and they'll have an hourly base.
Yeah, like P for P stuff.
Yeah, and they'll have an hourly base, but the commission, if they're doing their job correctly, the commission bonus, which is the legal term, the bonus will always take precedence.
Of course.
And if it's not taking precedence, then you might need to have a conversation with your technician and say, hey, it might not be a good
For
fit.
sure.
But if
Yeah,
you're
that's
pricing
what
right,
I'm
if you're pricing right, the commission is always higher than like the $20 an hour or whatever it is.
100%. Um, what about sales guys? They stay on subcontractors.
Their sales reps are always 1099.
Yeah.
Every industry 1099.
Dude,
Um,
I appreciate all the sauce, man. Because we're gonna be doing a
yeah.
lot of door to door when we go to Kelowna. Like, dude, our market right now is 30,000 people. So
hmm
like, I've torn through everything. But when we move, it's like no one knows who we are. We don't have a bunch of money to plow into marketing. It's gonna be a lot of door to door. So
Yeah. That's
it's
super
a lot of
exciting,
good
man.
stuff. Yeah.
The only
um,
other thing I'll add to the technician side,
yeah.
do a leaderboard. So like incentivize them for like
Cool.
reviews and revenue serviced. And then like if they have touch-ups or go backs, we make it like worth negative points.
Okay.
So at the end of the month, we do a leaderboard. Whoever wins, they get like a $200 bonus.
Cool.
And
And
then
that's like everything.
also
That's reviews. That's revenue.
reviews, revenue service, touch up. I have like it's like I could share it. It's like a point system on a spreadsheet.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that my head, my ops guy, Nathan, he kind of keeps up with it.
For sure.
Um,
That's a good
but
idea.
then, but do that and then $10 every Google review, like super simple. And then we also incentivize the technicians and we train them to upsell plans if they're not already on a plan.
Hmm.
So if the technician, will do role plays and stuff with the technician, will be like, hey, let's do a role play. It's like, hey, miss, I'm wrapping up. I'm going to get these last couple screens in for you before I head to my next job. Just let me know, if anything, needs another pass or anything like that. Otherwise, thanks for having me, whatever. Um, and then it's like, hey, I also noticed you're not on a plan with us yet. If you guys would like, I can actually upgrade you before I leave the property, and we can kind of get you guys a little bit of a discount. Would you guys like to
Nice.
take advantage of that before I head to my next job?
Yeah, dude, that wording's crazy.
Would you like to upgrade before I head to my next job
Yeah.
site? Yeah, that's the track. That's the word track for that one. And
Take
it's
advantage.
awkward for the technicians because they're not sales reps. We don't want them to
Yeah.
be sales reps, but it's like, hey, I give them an extra 10% commission if they upsell a plan.
On the one time.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, if an extra 10%, if you're doing a $500 job, easy $50. If you do that 3 times a week
Hmm.
for a month, that's an extra
600
600
bucks.
bucks or whatever.
Yeah.
you know plus you got 15 Google reviews, there's another $150.
Hmm.
Plus now you won the leaderboard, there's another $200. You're getting almost $1,000 in bonus just for asking people, hey, do you guys want to upgrade before I leave? Like
Yeah.
super simple.
Awesome, bro. Well, dude, we got a couple minutes left here. I want to give you the stage before we bounce. You got just anything you feel like we missed or that you want to throw out there to the people? Anything about what you're working on or,
um Shout out to Louis first and foremost, the young Chad himself. Amazing personal branding that's gonna blow up and you're doing it right, so shout out number one. Number two, there's a huge, anybody who's listening, there's a huge opportunity the next 5 to 10 years. I had a kid today call because he was price fishing. Okay, and he's like, oh, my mom wants a price. I was like, hey man, if you want help, I help all the local kids. But anyway, and it's catching on. There's a huge opportunity the next five to
Yeah.
ten years, specifically window cleaning. Specifically,
Why?
because window cleaning is becoming the new pest control model. It's becoming a subscription service. So not just
Mhm.
pest, but it's becoming a subscription based. So if you can nail it in the next 5 to 10 years, there's a huge opportunity for people to have six figures, multiple six figures, multiple seven-figure companies if you do it right the next 5 to 10 years. Huge opportunity. So if you guys are interested, you should be watching Louis stuff. You should probably watch some of my stuff. You should get with, Mint. You should start studying. And if you want to take it serious, you can change your life
And
from
dude,
dirty windows.
yeah, 100%. What is doing it right to you? Is that plans, a good brand, good service?
Yeah, branding, plans, honest service, doing what you say you're going to do, taking care of customers, and setting up your back end systems and processes correctly. A few simple steps, and you can build a very large business that can work for you
Heck yeah, bro.
in any market. If you're in a 30K market, you could still have a 100K business, like recurring.
Yeah, for sure.
Like you definitely can do it. Okay. The last thing I'll say is there's a ton of these gurus now, and they all knock doors and stuff. You guys should really have your antennas up on who's trying to build this the right way. Like if you're listening to this podcast, you're probably on the right track. But there's guys, there's gurus who are just knocking doors and selling, teaching you how to sell. Cool. But you need to be focused on building your asset building, whether it's window cleaning, trash can cleaning, it doesn't matter. You know,
I think
chess,
that's the
checkers,
bigger
club
play, bro.
memberships. Yeah, you
Yeah.
just need to build your asset. So be careful of, I don't want to call them gurus, but be careful of the gurus. There's a ton of them. And they all
They
are
help
like
out
DM me
though.
mentor. They help. It's a net pot. It can definitely move a needle to the right direction, but
Yeah,
there's guys who can do that,
yeah.
like Louis and like myself. There's guys who can do that, and then there's guys who can also build a business as well. So you should be very intentional if this is something that you guys are doing. So I'm going guilty plug. I'm going to create some sort of an accountability group. Maybe not soon, but it will be available, and I want to partner with as many people as I can because I love people.
Mhm.
So I want to be in people's corner. If just like Louis, he wants to be in people's corner and build his own stuff and like network and all that. Shameless plug. I'm gonna build something. Don't know when. I'm kind of working on it, but yeah. So
That's respect. All right,
yeah.
guys. Well, dude, where's the best place to reach out, or don't reach out?
Yeah. Don't ask me what squeegee I use. Instagram, CMA Stocks 33. You can just type in Chris Stocks. It'll probably show up. Instagram, YouTube. Um,
We'll link it all
we
up.
yeah, I'll link it up.
Awesome. Alrighty, well, guys, I appreciate you guys tuning in. We'll see you on the next one. Go check out Chris. Chris, bro, I appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
See you guys
Appreciate
soon.
you having me.
Peace.